Hi guys, it's your girl Cyn. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're not subscribed, go ahead and click the subscribe button. It's absolutely free. That's it. So today's video is going to be on how to cut soul ties. This was a big topic on my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I have really in-depth conversations on my Instagram. I actually go live all the time. I go live with other psychics, other mediums, other, just esoteric goddesses in my community, and we talk about deep issues. We talk about karmics, we talk about soul ties, we talk about twin flames. So if you're not following me on Instagram, what are you doing? So today's video is going to be on how to cut a soul tie. I'm not gonna get emotional in this video because y'all know I like to get emotional sometimes, but these are just like heavy topics and I'm not gonna get emotional. I actually had this conversation with a couple of my girlfriends and just a couple of girls on Instagram, and you guys were so involved in that video or that live that I decided that I would just share it here on my YouTube. So what is a soul tie? A soul tie is a connection, an unhealthy connection that you can have with someone, just feeling that you cannot let go of this person how hard you try. It actually can come from a unhealthy way of being. You actually can get soul ties from sexual intercourse. That's how a lot of people tend to get their soul ties, through sexual intercourse. I do believe that sexual intercourse is a transfer of energy, and that is why I'm a strong believer in not giving my body to just anybody, because you can form a strong soul tie with someone. It can just be physical and not emotional, but because having sexual intercourse with someone is more of an emotional thing for a woman, that can create a soul tie, because you think that it is an emotional bond by giving your body to someone, but it can just be purely physical. So that is what a soul tie is. How to let go of a soul tie. This is a big topic. This is an emotional topic. I've gone personally through this issue before, and what I can say about how to let go of a soul tie is a soul tie is to, one, detach. I know that it's so harder than it is. Detaching was one of the ways for me to just go ahead and let go. I know that is easier said than done, but I feel like detaching was the best option for me. I feel like in order for me to be well off or just good emotionally, mentally, physically, because it kind of created boundaries, and I feel like people lack a lot of boundaries. We tend to let people that we love into our lives, and we just let them just do whatever they want, say whatever they want, because it's out of a place of love. And sometimes it's not coming out of a place of love. Sometimes there's a lot of energy vampires, people who are very manipulative, people who just suck the energy out of you, and you might not even realize that they're doing that, because you feel like this is love. This is what love is supposed to feel like, but I want you to know that that is not love. Creating boundaries is a form of self-love. I like to drive this self-love topic to the ground because I feel like it's so vital. People always tell me, yeah, I love myself, but sis, do you really love yourself? Like, you can tell yourself that you love yourself all the time, but do you actually believe that you love yourself? Do you believe you actually love yourself? I feel like we were taught and told to love ourselves, but do we really actually sit down in our emotions, in our feelings, just hardcore, just sit in our emotions and actually love ourselves? I feel like once we get into relationships, or just it doesn't even have to be romantic, it can be a friendship, I feel like we tend to lose ourselves at times, and I feel like that is one of the reasons why I'm very particular about particular people in my life, because I'm an empath, and I just give love and I exude love, and people can take advantage of it. especially people who don't mean you well. That's why I think it's vital that you learn how to detach. Detaching, what you can do is by creating boundaries, by loving yourself to not let someone come into your life and run all over your life, or just being aware of it when it's happening. I feel like if you can pinpoint or just be aware of it as you're going about in your relationships, romantic or friendship wise, and you just sit back and assess some of the situations that you've been in with that particular person, you can go ahead and create certain boundaries so that that person knows not to cross that boundary. In order for someone to know your boundaries and to also love you healthy, in a healthy form of way, you have to know what self-love is. You have to love yourself enough to tell this person, or just physically, emotionally, and mentally create a boundary so this person would not take advantage of you. So I feel like detachment is a form of letting go or cutting a soul tie. Another form of letting go of a soul tie or cutting a soul tie is by meditation. I know you guys, this is like so cliche, but it actually works. Like, just clearing your mind, finding a space where you can feel like it's your own, a sacred spot. I like to just meditate at my altar, and I like to clear my mind, play some meditative music, or I do have sound bowls. I should show you guys my sound bowls, but they're in the other room. But if I'll insert a clip here of my sound bowl, and I will literally play my sound bowl, or because it has a certain type of hertz. If you're into sound bowls, you'll know what that means. And I would just sit here, I would clear my mind. I would forget all about what's going on, my 9 to 5, the fights that's going on in my life, family issues, relationship issues, and that would just be my time for me to clear my mind and to just balance, to keep myself balanced and to ground myself. I find that me meditating and finding that, and it actually, meditating helped me find out exactly what I want in my life. It is such a positive and strong way of just getting to know yourself and sitting in your emotions. I know that people do not like to sit in their emotions because a lot of heavy things can come up, and a lot of people in life are not over a lot of childhood traumas, and they don't want to think or face those childhood traumas. But I feel like it's very vital that we do face these childhood traumas, because it essentially plays in all of our relationships in our lives. Whether you know it or not. I have been doing readings lately. If you guys want a reading, I'll leave the link below. And I can't tell you how many people that I've done readings for, and they've had some unresolved childhood traumas affect their relationships or their romantic relationships. I've had people pour their guts out to me and tell me a lot of the horrible things that they've gone through, and I always tell them, like, have you sit down and face these childhood traumas? This childhood trauma is essentially holding yourself back, and that is what's holding that tie between you and that particular person that hurt you, or that particular person that you are in a romantic relationship. You're taking it out on this person because you haven't resolved that issue within yourself. So I find that you guys I find that reaching deep down inside of yourself and realizing that, hey, I'm not perfect, there's things that I need to fix within myself. But once you realize that and you can actually admit that to yourself, because I feel like the first step is to admitting that you have a trauma that you have that hasn't been resolved, that is the first step to letting go of that soul tie. I know soul ties are so painful because it doesn't have to be a romantic. It can be from your father, your mother, someone in your family. It's just like, it comes in different forms. And that's why I feel like it's important that you dig deep inside and you find out what is the cause of the trauma. Another way of cutting or letting go of a soul tie is admitting that you are essentially within a soul tie. I feel like once you claim it and say it out loud, yes, universe, I am in a soul tie and there is something that I do want to do and I want to fix it or change it, that in itself is powerful. A lot of people do not like to admit that they're in a soul tie or they're in something unhealthy or toxic. I do talk a lot about karmic relationships and twin flame relationships on my live on Instagram, and I get so many questions about people who think that they're in a relationship with a twin flame when really it's a karmic relationship, because karmic relationships come in different forms. It can be codependent, it can be abusive, unfortunately, it can be manipulation, it can be mental, it can be emotional. So, and I also want to also say that karmics do not have to be negative. You can be in a karmic relationship and it be a positive karmic relationship, but essentially karmic relationships do end. I believe that, you don't have to agree with me. I do believe that karmic relationships are not meant to last. They're just there to teach you a lesson and to just prepare you for your ultimate soul partner or your soulmate. So that is my stance on karmics. I feel like a lot of soul ties are karmic. They're there to teach you a lesson. I feel like we come to this earth. Let me go into my big tangent. We come to this earth. I like to think of earth as school. You know when you go to school, you get all these tests and you have to pass them to get on to the next level. I feel like that is what earth is. Earth is essentially a test. You're on this earth to go through many tests and phases in your life. And I feel like you're either going to pass it and move on to the next level of your life, or you're going to stay stuck, a stagnant position in your life, and you're going to repeat the same lesson over and over and over and over again until the universe feels like you've learned this lesson, you've mastered this lesson, now you can move on to the next lesson of your life, or the next partner, or the next relationship, or the next phase of your life. There's some phases that are very uncomfortable. There's some phases where man, I'm broke, or man, I'm in this situation, or man, this is so emotionally draining, or man, this is physically taking a toll on my body. I can't wait until better days come. You're in a cycle. This is a test. It does not last forever. And I like to drive that home for people, because I feel like the universe puts us in a position so that our soul can essentially grow. This is what we came into the earth for, to learn. I feel like this is our mission on earth. We all had a storyline before we were placed or born into this earth. I like to believe that. You don't have to believe with me. I believe that we all came to earth to learn soul lessons. That is my belief. There's some tests that I had to learn over and over again, so I mastered them and I moved on to the next phase of my life, and then that was the next test. Some tests are harder than the other. Some tests are easy breezy, some tests are not. But I feel like essentially this is all a test, and it's part of our soul growth. It's part of what makes our soul so strong for the next lifetime. I don't feel like when we pass away, that's it. I feel like my soul will go on to a next lifetime, whether I be a duck, a dog, another person. Another way to release or to cut a soul tie is to forgive. I know this is a big topic, but I find that in order for me to release my soul tie, I had to forgive. I know that a lot of people will cause harm to you emotionally, mentally, and physically, and that can be hard. That can be hard to forgive someone who has caused you so much pain, but I feel like forgiveness for that person will help you to release or to cut that soul tie. They always tell you to forgive, but I'm the type of person where I forgive, but I never forget. So I feel like forgiveness is key when trying to let go of a soul tie or cut a soul tie as well. Forgiveness will help so much in releasing it, because you're forgiving that person and also you're doing it for yourself. They always tell you, you know, to forgive someone for yourself so that you can release that pain, and I'm a firm believer in that. It does release the pain. It does make things a lot better, because it feel like if you don't, you're just holding on to dead weight. And in order for me to release, or for you guys to release that dead weight, and for you to be able to move on with your life without having to have all of those issues on your back while going into another situation, or just with any particular relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic, with just friendships. Forgiveness is key, just for shedding off and leaving behind dead weight. It's a bond that's not easily broken. It can take a long time for you to get over a soul tie. So I don't want anybody to feel bad that, you know, it's been years that they've been in a soul tie. It is a process, and you are going through a journey. The universe always has your back. So I don't want people to feel discouraged if they have a soul tie with someone and it's been years that they've had this soul tie with someone. It can take a long time. This is something that's purely energetic. You can't see it, but you can feel it. So that is what a soul tie is. So a soul tie can be extremely, extremely, extremely painful, because it feels like, essentially, like it's like ripping something out of your body, like ripping something out of your chest. It's a deep pain that people do not want to face, or people do not want to deal with. It can be from childhood traumas, or it can be a form of trauma that people do not realize. It hurts so bad that it's physical, not only just emotional, it's physical. I know how people say that heartbreaks hurt, and when people go through a heartbreak, not only do they feel it emotionally, but they can actually feel it physically. I'm a firm believer that that's the body trying to cope. So I understand when people say, like, oh my God, you don't understand, like, not only am I hurting emotionally, but I'm hurting physically. Like, my body, my heart is aching. I get it. It's an energetic transfer, and also it's a form of trauma. I hope this video has helped. Just a couple of tips on how to let go of a soul tie. And also, if you're not following me on Instagram, I go on live all the time, so you guys can go ahead and check out my lives. I talk about karmic twin flames and all that jazz. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you guys want more of these videos, please thumbs this video up, and make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure to click that bell button so you guys know when I upload. And I love you guys so much, and that's it. My website is finally up, so if you guys want to go ahead and just shop anything esoteric, you know, just creating a vibe and just supplying my esoteric goddesses, I will leave the link below so you guys can go ahead and check out my shop. Also, I want you guys to go ahead and, you know, interact with me on my community tab. I let you guys know all the scoop and keep you guys all in the loop in my community tab, so I want you guys to go ahead and check that out once in a while. I'll leave all of the information and all of the links in my community tab and down in the description box below.